If people tend to forget you, or interrupt you during a conversation, or they just simply don't consider you important enough to have a conversation during any social gathering or an event, this video might literally change your life. Because you see, the most socially attractive person in a room is not the one with the prettiest clothes or the most attractive features. Neither are they the most loudest person in the room. However, they are the people who know how to make the person in front of them feel special. And once you learn these qualities, you will realize people are attracted to you like a magnet. And in this video, we will learn a few tips and tricks in order to become the most socially attractive person wherever you go, whichever social gathering that you're attending, without changing a single thing about yourself. So, let's get into it. Also, there's a very simple hack in order to make people more attracted to you at the end of the video. So keep watching. The first tip for everybody watching this video is to always be interested and not the most interesting person in the room. This is where the 99% of us actually make a mistake. When we're having a conversation with the person in front of us, we tend to think about global politics, we tend to think about hobbies, we tend to think about interests, weather, current situation, people around us, news around us, etc., etc., etc. We try to impress the person in front of us by talking about everything they are interested in, their hobbies, their likes, their dislikes. That is what we have to stop doing. When I say don't be the most interesting person in the room, be interested. That means many of us, we always feel like we are on a stage. We are an actor and the person we are talking to is the audience. We feel like we have to play a part and we have to impress them. But it's actually the quite opposite. You have to be the audience and let the person be the spotlight. This may feel very weird or difficult because you might think, Navya, why will they want to impress me? But this is where it gets interesting. A lot of podcasters, if you see any podcaster, your favorite one, you will understand the one striking habit of theirs is that they always seem the person in front of them feel like that they are the most intelligent, most amazing person. Once you make the person in front of you feel that, they will want to upskill themselves in front of you. They will want to up their impression. Once they realize that you feel highly of them, they will naturally want to impress you. So the most important thing is let the other people impress you, not the other way around. How can you do that? By always be interested. If somebody is telling you about their day, do not just listen to it because for the sake you have to. Actually listen to the minute details. If the day did not go according to their plan, ask them questions. Why did it not go according to their plan? If somebody is saying, I had the most weirdest day possible, instead of saying, oh, me too, I had the same day as you, like it was even weirder, you are supposed to say, oh no, what happened? Tell me all about it. By changing the questions, by changing the answers that you are giving, you are purposefully evoking the person in front of you to be impressive towards you. Because you ask these questions, that person will naturally want to tell you more about themselves. That is how they will feel like you are interesting and they feel like they are interested towards you because you have asked a question about themselves, because you have made them feel important. The most disgusting thing a person can ever do is relate your own personal stories to theirs. If somebody is telling you a story about the time they missed a flight, you are never supposed to say, oh, I missed a flight one time, blah, blah, blah. Shush it. Listen to their story, ask questions about it, and let them impress you with their story. Because once they do that, they will actually want to impress you more. And that is how they will want to have more conversations with you. They will be more interested towards you, in you. For example, a colleague tells you that they have an appointment, dentist appointment, day after tomorrow. Remember it. Next time you see them, start the conversation by saying, how was your dentist appointment? What was it about? That will make the person feel seen. That will make the person feel important. And that is how they will actually want to have a conversation with you next time. See, this is how it makes a difference. Instead of us asking shallow questions, how was your day, and blah blah blah, which leads to nothing. You are asking deep, meaningful questions. You are asking the person in front of you to impress you. When people actually feel the need to impress others, they will do everything. Just like me, it's a human nature. But we have to change this about ourselves. We have to make the other person feel as if they are the most interesting person in the room, and we as the audience are the most interested in their story. So, rule number 1 is to always be interested and not the most interesting person in the room. People always remember the way you make them feel. That is why, as I said, we have to always make the person in front of us feel important. Which is why the second rule comes: compliment them beyond their physical attributes. For example, you are in a party, you are meeting a bunch of people. What is the first thing that comes to your head? Oh my god, that is such a beautiful dress that you're wearing. Oh my god, you look handsome tonight. Oh my god, that shirt is very amazing. No, these are some really shallow compliments. If that person is looking really pretty, best believe that they will receive the same kind of conversations with 100 different people within a span of 30 minutes. So, did it make you stand out from others? No. So, this is why you are supposed to always compliment the people beyond their physical attributes. You can compliment them about their emotional intelligence or anything which you might find interesting about them. Because, as I said, once you make the people feel deeply, you will automatically gain a space in their heart. For example, instead of complimenting someone for their makeup, you can always compliment them about a situation they handled. You can be like, Susan, I really admire the way you took a stand for yourself. Or, I was in awe of the way you handled the situation pretty aggressively. That meeting could have gone very horrible, but you took a stand, you balanced things out, and you made sure that things did not get heated. You see the difference between the two? One is very shallow. Susan might not remember that compliment ever because it's a very simple thing to say. But this latter one, you compliment her for what she did, for what she is. And that is something she will always remember. Because as I said, people always remember how others made them feel. That is how they are naturally gravitated towards the person. So, the next time you are complimenting someone, compliment them about anything, about their recent achievement. Oh, I heard that you got a research paper published. That is such amazing. Like, it must have taken you so much time and efforts. Can you let me know all about it? Like, how did you do that? Instead of saying, I read your research paper, it was really insightful. See the difference? It makes all the difference in the world. That is why be mindful of your compliments and do not compliment the first thing that comes into your head. Dig a little deeper. Think of a better intellectual way of gaining the person's attention. As I said, make them impress you. Once you compliment something about their trait, about their personality, about their intellectual thoughts, they will want to impress you more, and then they will tell you more about how did they do that, and that is how you strike a conversation. So part number 2 is always give meaningful compliments. Trait number 3, always be courteous. And when I say courteous, I mean always use the words please and thank you. Now, you might think this is very childish because that is something we were taught in moral science when we were in grade 6th or 7th. But trust me, science and every other research paper that you will actually read online, it will tell you that people tend to remember and people tend to respond better once they actually hear the word please. Now, if you want a favor from somebody, if you want a help from somebody, instead of requesting that, hey, can you do that for me? I want you to help me with something. Can you please help me with something? Instead of this, just add a very simple word, please. Hey Andy, please give me a pen. Hey Andy, please help me complete this assignment. Hey Susan, please help me to make sense of all this data that we have. Instead of saying, Susan, can you help me with this? You see the difference? Adding a simple word makes a whole lot of difference. And science has actually proven it. So, because once you say the word please, you are actually adding a feeling towards it. You might make the other person feel like, oh my god, they are very much in need of me, rather than just requesting me or asking for my services. So it is very, very imperative that no matter whatever you're asking, like even if you're asking a best friend of yours, your roommate, whoever, can I borrow that dress? Instance A. Instance B. Can I please borrow your dress? You see, you can immediately sense the change in the tone between A and B, and I did nothing. I did not change the way I spoke. I just added a word, and it made a whole lot of difference. So you understand? As I said, people will always remember how you made them feel. And if you add the word please into it, they will feel very important, and they will feel like genuinely helping you and genuinely being there for you. That is why it is very, very important. At the same time, saying thank you means the world to them. I know it seems very silly, and most people are like, they are my friends, they are my family. It is very, very informal. But these are the things which people usually take for granted. Like, so what if it is informal? Just saying thank you to somebody might make their day. Because even though it was their responsibility, even though it was your father's responsibility to help you with the car, or even though it was your mom's responsibility to give you lunch for the day, you are always supposed to say thank you. A simple thank you note or a simple thank you can literally make their day. So that is why you have to always remember the two golden words, please and thank you. Fourth point is to always be appreciative. Now, do not confuse it between saying thank you and being appreciative. They are very two different things. Let me help you explain. Once people actually tell you something, or once people actually confess about something to you, what do we do as humans? We either tend to make it all about ourselves, or we judge them, or we dismiss them. A socially attractive person will not do either of the three things. What are they going to do? They will be appreciative of the person that they told them this. For example, a friend of yours might have told you that they got a job somewhere, and instead of being jealous about it, like, oh well, how come she get a job, or judging her for how did she get a job when she was not even looking for one, always be appreciative and say, I'm so glad that you told me about this. I really appreciate you telling me about this. Even in your friend circle, we always tend to be very hurt or very sad when somebody XYZ, they tell us the news in the last. Like if you're 5 people in the friend group, and if you're the last person to know about this, we usually lash out. How come I was the last person to know about this? That is not what a socially attractive person would do. Instead, you can say, thank you so much for telling me. I really appreciate you trusting in me and letting me know. See the difference? Now, do not think that we have to manipulate people into thinking they are important. No. That is not what this is about. This is about emotional intelligence. This is about making the others feel important. Because we have to understand that in this world, there are a lot of people who speak. Almost everybody is out there speaking. 1.3 billion people in the world, one of them is speaking. But there are very, very few people who are actually listening. That is why it is always said, speak less, listen more. Once you listen more, you actually be appreciative, you actually be mindful, and you actually understand what is happening. So, it is all about emotional intelligence, and it is all about making that heart-to-heart connect with the person in front of you. So, always be appreciative. Do not lash out, do not judge. Now, here comes the secret hack I was talking to you about in the beginning of the video. One simple hack that will help people be more interesting to you, or vice versa, is to always be the first person or the last person they're having a conversation with. Now, let me explain. If you're going for a job interview, always make sure that you are either the first or the second person they're interviewing, or the last person they're interviewing, because our mind is like that. We always remember the first and the last thing and nothing in between. Also, for example, if I ask you, how was your day? You will remember the beginning, you will remember the end. You will remember each and every detail of it and how it made you feel. But you will remember bits and bits of what happened to you between the day. That is how everybody functions. So if you're meeting somebody for a coffee, or if you're meeting a boss of yours, always try to meet them up for breakfast when the day is starting, or have a dinner with them, have a casual outing with them after the office. So it is one simple hack to always be either the first person or the last person they're interacting or they're having a conversation. So, as I said, we are all on a stage and every one of us is an actor trying to play their part. Golden words by Shakespeare, not word to word, but you know what I mean. So, being socially attractive means letting the others perform for you. And these 4 traits that we actually talked about actually are not about manipulating people into liking you or influencing anybody. These are just basic etiquettes people have actually forgotten. They have forgotten how to genuinely be interested in the other person. They have forgotten how to genuinely make a heart-to-heart connection with the person in front of us. We are all chasing the external validation, but that is not how things are. These are not just skills or traits, they are just simple habits which any one of us can inculcate in our lives. By doing so, you will automatically feel that you are not short of conversations. If you're somebody who is very, very scared of having shallow talks, you will not have shallow talks in your life. Because if you have talked to A and you know that A got a dog last week, what is the thing that you will talk to them? Not how was your day. You will ask them about their dog. You see, in that way, you're making A feel very seen. So that is what you have to do. A socially attractive person attracts people towards them by making feel people that they are important. They make people understand that you are very interesting to me. Help me understand why this happened. How are you interesting? Instead of playing a part for others. Now, you might argue that what about us? We can always speak at the right time when we are asked. Because as I said, always be a good listener rather than a good speaker. If you loved the video, do subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comment section what are the points which actually stood out the most to you, what are the things that you continue to do, and what is the one particular thing or all of the things that will actually help you. And let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on the video. Bye.